Hey everybody, I want to go ahead and give a case study today and also a 4-step system on how to get on page 1 of Google, and more specifically what you can expect with a new blog. So, I want to be very very clear that this blog is, when I say relatively new, it is new from not only an age standpoint, but it is new, more importantly, from a content standpoint. This blog that we had created, and we're not talking about the whole entire website, but just a few blog posts, were all over the place. There was really no idea behind it, and the partner that I was actually supposed to partner up with, and we agreed to partner, he's just not following through and doing what he's supposed to, and for that reason, I'm cutting ties with that person. And continuing here, kind of explaining what happened. So during this section from August 17th all the way up to roughly about here, okay, November 11th, so about a week ago, it was a very lackadaisical approach. It was just content just being spit at it. Content that should have been in the draft was being public, which should not have happened. A lot of things like that could have potentially, quote-unquote, hurt our ranking. Something you got to understand is that Google is very, very forgiving with the way they rank. Okay, they're always changing. They're always moving up and down for your ranking specifically, and they're kind of choosing who's going to go up in the ranking and who's going to go down. Now, with that being said, from this point on, there were being new keywords added. In fact, very specifically in the last week, the last 7 days, we had an extra 7 keywords to the website. Now, that doesn't sound much, and it's really not. But being that, our previous was 10 keywords, we've increased over 70% of the keyword total that Google's actually trying to rank us for. Now, with that being said, I want to go ahead and give you guys a case study example. Okay, you can see here Google will crawl some of our web pages on the website, then have it disappear for a while. Then they'll crawl again, once again have it disappear for a while. Then crawl again, jump around in the positions. Now, these positions, the numbers, I don't really want you to kind of pay attention to them because honestly, they're meaningless at this point. When a blog is so new to the point where you have really not even 10 quality articles on it, it's very new. You really can't base it off of this. You shouldn't even be looking at Google Search Console, to be 100% honest, if your blog is that new. But once again, I'm using this as an example. And you can see here it disappeared for a while, and then it back up. Then once again, it disappeared just for a few days. Then it's back up for a few days. Then, and when I say back up, I don't mean the website was back up. The website was always live, but it wasn't being crawled by Google or indexed or even on the search, to be clear. And so Google does do this, guys. Google does this because they're running experiments. Now, with that being said, you can see here from November 1st on, it kind of held a certain position within Google. When I say held a certain position, I'm talking about existed on Google. And literally 2 days before, I had checked, we had edited one article. And that article finally got picked up by Google and reached page 1. Now, what does this tell you? This tells you a few things. First of all, you don't need to have a brand new website, you don't have to have a 2-year-old website or a 1-year-old website to actually get ranked on Google, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, you want to have a very, very strong targeting approach when it comes to your keywords. Now, I will give the whole presentation after the steps on how to get page 1 of Google in just a minute, but I want to kind of explain how this works. So the article never looked like this in the beginning. It was just content put on it. Like I said, content that should have been in the draft was made public. It shouldn't have happened, but Google picked it up anyway. So then I sat back and I said, okay, we're holding a position of page 1 on Google for this specific article. And at this point, it didn't look like this. It was nothing like this, okay? Then what I should do is I should go and optimize the article. So I did. I optimized the article. I did a list of things that I'm not going to list here for obvious reasons. And what happened is now Google is going to, in the future, and enough time hasn't passed, but Google will actually place us down in the rankings more. So at first we're on page 1, we'll probably end up page 2 or 3 after the change, right? After making the website better. Now, that might seem opposite as hell, but guess what, guys? Google is actually still performing operations and tests. This is only going to solidify our position more to Google. There are certain things we all know as SEOs that work, and once again, I'm not going to list these things, but we all kind of know what we should do as SEOs. If you're a beginner SEO, then you should check out my beginner videos, right? But here's the thing. Google is going to always do this. Whenever you perform certain updates to a website, they will hurt your ranking just for a few days, just so they can figure out where you fit. And like I said, this happens all the time, okay? After they see kind of the new content, then what it's going to do is, if you did your SEO work correctly, you're going to hold a better position in Google's eyes for a longer period of time in the future, okay? And once again, they do this all the time. They take your website and they compare it to others, at least the new product of it, okay? Now, when I was searching for my specific website with different devices, with VPNs and all that, and I even used other SEO research tools and keyword research tools and things like that, and search engine tools, we were on page 1. So I said, okay, the website is in this bad of a position. We're already on rank 1. That means two things. Number one, we have an open market. This is a blue ocean. Not specifically for this article, but the whole niche in general. That's number one. And number two, that means it's going to be significantly easier to get rank 1. Now, if you guys know about this website, I've been telling you guys for months, the partner that I'm working with, I'm teaching him how to do it, etc., but he's just not up to it. And that's okay. Not everybody is going to be good at blogging, or not even good, but not everybody's going to be fully committed. And that's just life. There's winners and there's losers. Not everybody's going to cross the bridge. The point here is that, and essentially this is where it's going to take me to the presentation, is how do you actually get on page 1 of Google? It comes down to, I guess you could say, 4 steps, and I want to break this down. The first thing to understand is that you do not anymore have to have a blog post up for months before it reaches page 1, okay? Now, we're speaking in very general terms here. I'm going to write general terms here. Okay? And the reason why we're speaking in general terms is because I was very, very specific with the keyword research method that I have told you guys about. Go to Autopilot Passive Income. Autopilot, hold on, let me go back to this. Let me pull it up. Autopilot Passive Income. Go to the blog here and look at the blog that I put out right here, the keyword research blog. This blog specifically tells you how to do keyword research so that Google gives you respect within the algorithm. I call it respect, people call it domain authority. Either way, they both mean the same thing. In Google's eyes, you cannot just, if you're a brand new blog, you're not going to be able to compete for a keyword that websites with very, very high level domain authority are going to compete with. For example, if you guys are familiar with bodybuilding.com, okay, let's go to bodybuilding.com. When I just type in the word bodybuilding, bodybuilding.com shows up. Bodybuilding.com as a website has existed for a long time. They have hundreds of employees, and they have thousands upon thousands of articles that have been not only ranked, but doing very, very well. If I choose to compete against these guys, I'm going to be eaten alive. I'm not going to be able to compete. I'm not going to be able to handle it. That's why I tell you guys, use the keyword research strategy that I showed. I specifically call it the tree growth method. The tree growth method. Like I said, there's a method to my madness. It works. And to prove that it works, like I said, if we go in here to my analytics or Google Search Console, whatever you want to call it, we're holding page 1 on an article that, in my opinion, doesn't even deserve page 5. But what is it? It has to do with the keyword research strategy. Now, you can't do this with 1 blog post. You can't do this with 2 blog posts. You have to do this with, like I said earlier, 30 and up. Now, my personal opinion, before you sell a blog as a business and before you actually rely on income for it, you should have about 80, anywhere from 60 to 80 blog posts. Now, the people who are listening to this, who are sweating when they hear the word 60 to 80, and it's a lot of work, first of all, if you're having a hard time even creating 1 blog post, blogging is not for you. I'm just going to say it straight up, okay? Once again, there are winners and losers. I hate to be kind of so upfront with this, but the world we live in today, people are just not, I guess they're just selling themselves false realities. I mean, that's just a sad reality. And so I have to live in the real world and tell you guys the truth. You're not going to rank 1 on Google with 1 article. You're not going to rank 1 with 2 articles. You need to have a decent article, a decent website. Now, the world is getting easier, and I'm going to be honest with you. The world is getting easier. So there might be people out there who might be in the same position as me with this specific niche, or any kind of specific niche that might be a very blue ocean, rather. And, happen to rank with 5 articles, 10 articles. Now, do I recommend that? No. With 30 articles, guys, is the absolute bare minimum that you can go and actually depend on ranking. Because I'm giving this advice, I'm talking to people who are going to be future entrepreneurs, future self-employed business people, okay? 30 is the number, okay? Now, with that being said, they have to be good articles and they have to follow the specific keyword research strategy that I have laid out. And like I said, I've proven it works. You can check my other video. I posted it literally a few days ago of an example of a blog post that we have gotten rank 1 on, or page 1 rank, and it was on a weak blog. The blog was weak in general. There's not much content on it. The content was all over the place. It's a disaster. It's not optimized, and yet we still ranked. That just shows you how easy it is to get ranked on Google nowadays. And for the people who are complaining, if you are complaining, it's just simple. You haven't done the work. It's really that easy, okay? Now, once again, I don't want to go off and just have like some kind of motivational rant here, but let's get back to the steps, okay? The first thing to understand is that you do not have to have a blog post up for months. Now, I said that, but in general terms, the keyword research strategy matters. If you're going to compete with the dinosaurs of Google, kiss your success goodbye. That's not the way it works anymore. You're going to need large amount of quantity of content where essentially you're a bottom feeder. And that's just the way it is. Number 2, get a blogging platform. Get on a blogging platform. Get on a platform that actually has blogging capabilities that are made for 2022. No offense to all these WordPress guys. Listen, guys, WordPress is great. Can you get ranked on Google WordPress? Absolutely. But the amount of work that you're going to have to do to get that platform up to date with the amount of plugins and resources, and on top of that, the editors and the tools, that platform, with all due respect to all you guys who are, religious WordPress users, you're shooting yourself in the foot. The platform is not optimized for 2022. Any person who's making over $500,000 a year blogging will agree with me. The platform was not designed in a 2022 landscape. The platform hasn't even been truly updated. Let's just talk about the basic user interface. The platform hasn't even been updated since 2000 something, okay? It's 2022 and the platform hasn't had a revamp of the user interface. It's an open source platform. Open source means free. When you use a free thing like that, you're not going to get premium results. It's just a fact. Now, there are other platforms that you can use that can actually help you. Now, I'm not going to list all of them, okay? A good example is the one that I use, Funnelizer Pro. You guys have seen it work. I've ranked one on Google with Funnelizer Pro blogs. It makes it very simple and very easy. Now, I'm actually, for all the naysayers in the video, they're going to be like, oh, well, you're just saying Funnelizer Pro because you're an affiliate. Guess what? I won't leave my affiliate link in the description. I won't leave it. You guys can do whatever you want. You could go to Wix, you could go wherever you want to go. But I'm giving you an example of the platforms that I use. If I felt, guys, that Funnelizer Pro was bad and I was just trying to make money off of it as an affiliate, then don't you think I would have my websites off of Funnelizer Pro? It would be a different platform completely. That's the idea. So I put my money where my mouth is. I use the platform that I truly believe works for me. And guess what? I'm not believing off of phantom ideas, off of ghosts and fairy tales. I'm talking about real results. I've made so much money with websites off Funnelizer Pro. I have a portfolio of websites on there that make me money on a daily basis. Okay? And once again, I don't have to go through the whole list. I've made videos on this before. I've shown people results. I've shown people examples. So if you want to go look at those videos, just literally go look at them. I have over 600 videos on this YouTube channel alone. All right? Now, the next thing, lack of control on the platform. You do not want a platform, when you're blogging, to have control on the type of content that you're posting. Nowadays, believe it or not, in a 2022 world where everything is getting so controlling, hosting platforms are actually reviewing the content that you're posting, and if they don't like it, they can take down your whole entire plan. and they won't even notify you. They won't say to you, hey, you know what? We don't like the content that you have on your website. You know what? We're going to just take it down. They're not going to ask you for your permission. They own your content. They own everything that you have. So you need to go to a platform where they do not have ownership over what you do. This is very, very critical. Very critical. And I can't explain how critical this is, because unless you've actually made money with a platform and you've lost it all, which has happened to me, then you will know what I'm talking about. But, let's just go to the next one. Has code capabilities. Some platforms are drag and drop. An example, Funnelizer Pro is a drag and drop platform, but it also has code capabilities. If you're a blogger, you will need to add code from time to time to certain blog posts. It could be for an interactive script. It could be for ad tracking. It could be for AdSense. It could be for something as basic as, HTML. You need to have code capability on your platform. Like I said, Funnelizer Pro allows you to do this. I can go over here and show you guys a basic example. If I go over here to website settings, custom code, I can click on that. It will show custom code. Now, I do have custom tracking code on my website, so I'm obviously not going to show it, but that's exactly what I mean. You can also drag and drop code elements. Like if we go over here to the code and drag and drop it, you can also do it that way. But once again, don't use Funnelizer Pro. Go do your research. Go use other tools. Third one, strict keyword research with a driven goal. This is the biggest mistake that I see, bloggers who are the newbies of today. And by the way, there's no shame in being a newbie who are trying to start a blog. They don't have a specific goal with their keyword research. They don't. They just say, okay, this keyword looks good, but they don't have a real goal. And once again, I have set up a whole tutorial, a whole blog post, plus a video. I call it the tree growth method on how to find blog post topic ideas that actually help you succeed. Okay? That's why I said right here, see blog post. If you're serious about keyword research, you need to watch the video in the blog post, and you need to read it. Okay? Also, I'm adding consistently, if you're actually reading the blog post, I'm adding consistently to the blog post a little bit every day. Okay? Now, finally, the last step is monitor the success of the post. Google, and this is why I say of the post, not of the blog. Okay, this is specific, explanation here. Monitor the success of the post. Google is now looking at platforms more, very selectively, meaning they're looking at your platform, your website entirely, and they're saying, okay, what are the pieces that we can extract from here? Back then, guys, it was not like that. In 2012, for example, in 2014, 2016 even, if you had something bad on your website, let's just say it was against a certain ranking factor, that would harm you. That would harm the whole entire website. It wouldn't harm just one post or 10 posts. No, it would harm the whole entire website. And that's how Google is actually changing. Now, this is changing to our advantage as beginner bloggers. When I say beginner bloggers, I'm not talking about, if you've been doing it 1 or 2 years. I'm talking about you don't have the infrastructure of a bodybuilding.com. Let's face it, we don't have millions and millions of dollars to spend on ads and get favored by Google and pay for developers to figure out what the issues are and get issues fixed. We don't have that kind of resources. So this is actually bad for large platforms, but it's better for us, the little guys in town. Why? Because we can make sure that we can optimize to the maximum potential a single post or a single page on your website, whether it be a product page, a post page, a blog post page, whatever it is, optimize it to the absolute max and get ranked on Google. Okay? So with that being said, those are the 4 steps. So once again, number 1, first thing to understand is that a blog post doesn't need to be up for months before it reaches page 1. Okay? That's in general terms, of course. If you're going to decide to compete with the dinosaurs, then this doesn't apply. All right? Number 2, get on a real blogging platform, a platform that is designed in 2022, not these 1987 platforms. Number 3, strict keyword research plan with a specific driven goal. You have to have a goal behind the keyword research plan. Once again, that ties into the first, the first one. Okay, if you're going to go for a keyword that, you got people with huge domain authority competing for, you're probably not going to win. I'm just keeping it real. You're probably not going to win. And there are certain things we could sit here and cry and whine about, but I'm in the business of making money. Okay, I'm not going to complain about these issues. I'm just going to find what works and make it work. And as you guys have seen, I've made it happen. Okay, and finally, the last one: monitor the success of the specific post. You get the work done. You make sure the post is fully optimized. And this is another thing. A lot of people are writing content that I don't know if they're just not aware, but the content is not good enough for Google to actually rank, and they're thinking that it's good. So you might want to do some research on, okay, what does Google actually want? I actually highly recommend everybody watching this to go into the Google documentation and read through it. Read through what does Google want to actually get on Google's page 1. Maybe even take some courses. If you can't, spend the time to sit down and read it, go take some courses on the thing. Now, I personally don't sell a course on something like that, but you can go and do research on, a course that sells that kind of stuff. All right, guys. So this was a little video. Hopefully this video gave everybody the shock that they need to realize how much of an opportunity is sitting in front of them. Guys, literally, blogging is an opportunity that will not arise after web version 3 comes out. Okay? When I say web version 3, we're talking about the future. We're talking metaverse, we're talking AI, we're talking all of this. You can kiss this all goodbye. This is not going to come back. Right now, everybody who's sitting here watching this video has a capability of making passive income, starting a business for the very first time. And it's all up to you. This is not one of those things that you could put the blame on somebody else and say, it was the big man who controls the industries. They're the one. No, this is all up to you. It is your responsibility to be successful with SEO. And frankly, it's a matter of time that we all take responsibility for ourselves. And, I put up a poll on my YouTube channel, guys. I put up a poll and I asked people, what are some of the reasons that are holding you back from blogging? Even Income School did polls similar to what I did, right? And I did similar to what they did. And they were asking people, what's the biggest thing holding you back? And majority of the people have effort-related concerns, meaning, I think it's too hard, or I don't think it's gonna work out, or I don't believe, the effort is too much effort. All of this is nonsense. If you want to succeed, then you're gonna go out and do it. Effort should never be an excuse. Complaining that, oh my God, it's too difficult should never be an excuse. And frankly, guys, I'm being realistic here. There are going to be winners and there's going to be losers. The losers in reality are never going to succeed. They're never going to succeed. But if you are a winner, then you're going to take action. And also, I want you to remind yourself this, is that who do you know in your personal life is doing the same stuff? Who's building businesses? Who's making money? You're probably not going to list off a lot of people. Maybe a few people that you could count off one hand in your personal life that you meet face to face who are actually successful and stuff like this. Well, the reason why you can only list a very few people, if you can even list people, is because it takes effort. It takes effort to do something that people haven't done. And if you want results that people have never had in your personal life that you have to do things you've never done before, and that things that they have never done. But I'm sitting here, guys, acting like blogging is difficult. Blogging isn't difficult. I mean, you guys just saw the results. I've literally explained the whole process. So once again, it's a matter of you doing it. I think 90% of the whole blogging game is one word. It comes down to effort. No more of this laziness, no more of this complaining. For those who saw my post on the community page, I made a post. I said from November 1st, all the way to the end of 2022, I call this my go hard year, where we go hard no matter what in every aspect of our lives. No complaining, no feeling sorry for myself, no doing this, no doing that. I see a lot of people complaining about, for example, Funnelizer Pro. Okay? Let me go ahead and pull it up. Funnelizer Pro. The membership. $9 a month we're talking to start a blog. If you can't start a blog with $9 a month, then unfortunately you won't be able to do anything. Okay, guys? So get your head focused. Get focused. The year's not over. Okay? There's about, 45 days until the year's over? You need to get done with a blog. I'm talking a whole entire blog, the whole website before the year's over. You need to get that done. Everybody here should set that goal. I mean, if you're watching this video on how to get that, the 4 steps to get ranked on one Google, I'm assuming that you want to start a blog or you have started. There should be no more excuses. All right, guys, let's go hard. Let's not, let's just be animals in this game. Let's be successful and let's be part of the 1%. Why not? All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Bye.